When people compare the Toyota Corolla and the Honda CR-V, they are usually not choosing between two direct rivals. They are choosing between two very different lifestyles. One is a compact sedan that has built its reputation on simplicity, fuel economy, reliability, and low ownership costs. The other is a compact SUV that has become a favorite for families, commuters, road trippers, and drivers who want more space, flexibility, and confidence behind the wheel. That is exactly what makes this comparison so interesting, because it is not only about horsepower, features, and design. It is about what kind of daily life you live and which vehicle actually fits it better. At first glance, the Toyota Corolla feels like the smart and practical decision. It is familiar, efficient, easy to drive, and easy to own. It has spent decades becoming one of the most trusted nameplates in the automotive world. It is the kind of car people buy when they want peace of mind. It starts every morning, handles city traffic with calm confidence, and keeps fuel stops and maintenance bills pleasantly low. For students, first-time buyers, city commuters, and anyone who values predictable ownership, the Corolla has always been a hard car to argue against. The Honda CR-V approaches the market from a completely different angle. It is not trying to be the cheapest way to get from one place to another. Instead, it aims to be the vehicle that can do almost everything well. It gives you the higher seating position people love, the flexibility of an SUV body style, more room for passengers, and enough cargo space to make daily errands, family life, and weekend travel much easier. The CR-V has built its reputation by being one of the most balanced compact SUVs available. It is efficient enough to stay practical, refined enough to feel modern, and spacious enough to make people wonder why they ever settled for a smaller car. That means this comparison is less about which vehicle is objectively better and more about which one is better for your reality. If your world revolves around urban traffic, parking challenges, budget-conscious driving, and efficient commuting, the Corolla makes a compelling case. If your life involves family transportation, road trips, extra luggage, shopping hauls, or simply the desire for more room and versatility, the CR-V begins to justify its higher price almost immediately. Design is the first place where their personalities split. The Toyota Corolla looks sharp, compact, and youthful. Over the years, Toyota has worked hard to make the Corolla feel more stylish and less anonymous. The modern version has a lower, sportier stance than older generations, and it carries itself with a clean, streamlined shape that works well in both urban and suburban settings. It is not trying to look aggressive just for attention, but it does enough to avoid feeling boring. Its proportions are tidy, efficient, and familiar in a good way. The Honda CR-V, on the other hand, embraces its SUV identity with confidence. It looks larger, stronger, and more substantial from almost every angle. It has a more commanding road presence, and that alone matters to a lot of buyers. Many people simply feel more secure and more comfortable in a vehicle that sits higher and appears more robust. The CR-V has a clean, upscale design language that makes it look more premium than some of its rivals. It manages to appear practical without looking dull, and mature without looking old-fashioned. Step inside both vehicles and the difference becomes even more obvious. The Toyota Corolla's cabin is designed around efficiency and simplicity. Everything is laid out logically, controls are easy to understand, and the driving environment feels straightforward and welcoming. Toyota has done a good job in recent years improving materials and interior design, so the Corolla no longer feels like a stripped-down economy car unless you are in the most basic trim. The dashboard design is clean, the technology is easy to use, and the front seats usually offer solid comfort for daily driving. But the Corolla is still a compact sedan, and that reality shows up most clearly in space. Front seat comfort is generally good, but rear seat passengers may find themselves wishing for more legroom on longer drives. It is perfectly usable for small families or occasional passengers, but it is not the kind of vehicle that feels especially generous when fully loaded. The trunk is practical for groceries, work bags, and airport runs, but there are obvious limits to what a sedan body style can offer. This is where the Honda CR-V immediately flexes its advantage. The cabin feels noticeably more open, airy, and accommodating. There is more headroom, more legroom, and more shoulder room, which makes a major difference in daily life. Adults in the back seat are far more comfortable, and families with child seats will appreciate the easier access and extra space. The CR-V simply feels less restrictive. Whether you are carrying passengers, luggage, shopping bags, sports gear, or travel essentials, it offers a level of convenience the Corolla cannot match. Cargo flexibility is another area where the CR-V pulls away. Fold the rear seats down and it transforms into a genuinely useful cargo hauler. That means furniture boxes, travel gear, large grocery runs, strollers, gym equipment, and even home improvement supplies become much easier to manage. The Corolla can certainly handle normal everyday tasks, but the CR-V feels built for a wider range of real-world responsibilities. That added practicality is one of the biggest reasons so many buyers are willing to spend more for a compact SUV. When it comes to driving, the Toyota Corolla wins with ease and efficiency. It is smaller, lighter, and more maneuverable, which makes it especially comfortable in busy cities and crowded parking lots. The steering is usually light and predictable, visibility is decent, and the compact footprint helps the Corolla feel stress-free in urban environments. For many people, that matters more than excitement. A car that is easy to place on the road, easy to park, and easy to live with often becomes more lovable over time than one that merely impresses on paper. The Corolla also tends to deliver a calm and composed ride. It is tuned to be comfortable for commuting and practical use rather than sporty theatrics. That means it handles daily road imperfections reasonably well and remains easygoing on longer trips. Depending on the trim, some Corolla models add a slightly sportier flavor, but the core personality remains centered on efficiency and predictability. The Honda CR-V feels different from the moment you get behind the wheel. You sit higher, which gives you a broader view of the road and contributes to that SUV's sense of confidence. Many drivers love this elevated seating position because it makes traffic feel easier to read and gives a stronger sense of control. The CR-V is not a performance SUV, but it feels solid, stable, and mature on the road. It absorbs bumps well, remains composed at highway speeds, and delivers a generally refined driving experience. Of course, because it is larger and taller, the CR-V will never feel as nimble in tight city conditions as the Corolla. It takes up more space, requires a bit more attention when parking, and does not dart through traffic with the same compact agility. But in exchange, it offers a more substantial and relaxed feel on open roads and longer journeys. For drivers who frequently carry passengers or spend time on highways, that extra sense of comfort and confidence can be very appealing. Performance is another interesting part of this matchup because neither of these vehicles is really trying to be a sports machine. The Toyota Corolla is built to be efficient and dependable first. Its power delivery is typically adequate for commuting, errands, and normal daily use. It is not thrilling off the line, but it gets the job done with little drama. For most drivers, that is enough. The Corolla's strength is that it rarely feels complicated or demanding. It simply does what you ask of it and keeps moving without complaint. The Honda CR-V generally offers a bit more usable performance, especially when carrying more people or cargo. That does not mean it suddenly turns into a fast SUV, but it often feels more confident during merging, overtaking, and highway driving. It has the kind of power delivery that better suits a vehicle expected to do more. If you regularly drive with a full cabin, luggage, or long-distance travel plans, that extra capability becomes noticeable. Fuel economy is where the Toyota Corolla naturally shines. This has always been one of its strongest arguments. A compact sedan with efficient engineering is almost always going to be kinder at the pump than a larger SUV. For budget-focused buyers, commuters, and people who drive frequently, that advantage adds up over time. Lower fuel costs can make a meaningful difference over months and years, especially in places where fuel prices fluctuate or long daily commutes are common. The Honda CR-V is not inefficient by any means, especially compared to larger SUVs, but it cannot fully escape the reality of being bigger and heavier. You are paying a fuel economy penalty in exchange for extra room and versatility. For some buyers, that trade-off is absolutely worth it. For others, especially those who mostly drive alone or with one passenger, the Corolla's thriftiness remains very attractive. Technology is important in modern vehicles, and both the Corolla and the CR-V understand that buyers now expect more than just reliable transportation. The Toyota Corolla generally includes a good set of modern infotainment and connectivity features, especially in mid and upper trims. Smartphone integration, user-friendly displays, and practical convenience features help the Corolla feel current rather than basic. Toyota has also improved the overall user experience significantly in recent years, making the cabin easier and more pleasant to interact with. The Honda CR-V usually offers a more upscale technology environment, particularly in better-equipped versions. The larger cabin helps the technology feel more integrated and premium, and there is often a greater sense of sophistication in how the features are presented. That said, the most important thing for many buyers is not whether one system looks fancier than the other, but whether it is easy to use every day. In that regard, both vehicles generally perform well enough to satisfy mainstream buyers. Safety is one of the strongest categories for both models, and this is where the comparison becomes reassuring rather than divisive. Both Toyota and Honda have invested heavily in advanced driver assistance and safety technologies. That means features like forward collision warning, lane support systems, adaptive cruise control, and various active safety aids have become much more common. For families, commuters, and cautious drivers, that is a major benefit. Both vehicles are built around the idea that mainstream transportation should not feel outdated or underprotected. Reliability and long-term ownership are perhaps the most emotionally important parts of this comparison. The Toyota Corolla has an almost legendary reputation in this area. It is one of those vehicles people recommend to friends and family when they do not want drama. It is known for durability, predictable maintenance, and the kind of ownership experience that rarely becomes stressful. That reputation is not accidental. It is one of the biggest reasons the Corolla continues to sell so well across the world. The Honda CR-V also has a very strong reputation for reliability and owner satisfaction. It has long been considered one of the most dependable choices in the compact SUV segment. That means buyers are not choosing between a reliable car and an unreliable one. They are choosing between two very well-established and trusted products. The difference is that the Corolla tends to represent lower-cost simplicity, while the CR-V represents dependable versatility at a higher price point. Ownership costs are where the Corolla often feels like the logical winner. It usually costs less to buy, less to fuel, and in many cases less to insure and maintain. That lower barrier to entry matters a lot, especially for younger buyers, smaller households, or anyone trying to stay financially efficient. If your needs are simple, the Corolla gives you a lot of peace of mind without demanding too much from your budget. The CR-V naturally asks for more money up front. It is a larger, more flexible, more family-oriented vehicle, and you pay accordingly. But what makes the CR-V such a compelling choice is that many buyers genuinely use what they are paying for. If you regularly need the extra room, higher ride height, easier access, and broader cargo flexibility, then the CR-V's added cost starts to feel justified rather than excessive. The key question is whether you need SUV capability or just like the idea of it. That distinction matters because many people buy more vehicle than they actually need. It is easy to get drawn toward SUVs because they feel modern, practical, and desirable. But if most of your driving is solo commuting, city errands, and occasional weekend use, the Toyota Corolla may actually fit your life better while saving you money every month. It is smaller, cheaper to run, easier to park, and still highly dependable. That is not settling. That is choosing intelligently. At the same time, it would be unfair to pretend the CR-V's appeal is just image. It offers real, daily advantages. Families will notice the space. Taller passengers will notice the comfort. Travelers will notice the cargo room. Drivers who prefer a commanding seating position will notice the confidence. People who want one vehicle to handle school runs, grocery shopping, road trips, airport pickups, and general life chaos will notice the convenience. These are not small details. They shape how satisfying a vehicle feels after months and years of ownership. There is also an emotional side to the decision. The Toyota Corolla feels disciplined, efficient, and sensible. It is the kind of car that quietly does everything right without asking for attention. The Honda CR-V feels broader in purpose. It gives the impression that it is ready for more. It feels like a vehicle designed to adapt to changing routines and expanding responsibilities. One is a precise tool for practical transportation. The other is a multi-role companion for a busier, more varied lifestyle. For students and first-time buyers, the Corolla often makes the strongest case. It keeps costs under control, delivers excellent day-to-day usability, and offers the kind of reliability that reduces ownership anxiety. For small families, frequent travelers, and buyers who want long-term flexibility, the CR-V becomes the more convincing option. It may cost more, but it often gives back in comfort, convenience, and usefulness. If you care most about value, fuel economy, ease of driving, and low-stress ownership, the Toyota Corolla is the smarter pick. It remains one of the best examples of practical transportation done right. If you care most about space, comfort, versatility, and all-around family-friendly usability, the Honda CR-V is the stronger choice. It offers a more adaptable package and fits a wider range of real-world needs. In the end, the winner depends on what you expect your vehicle to do for you. If you want something efficient, trustworthy, and financially sensible, the Corolla still feels almost unbeatable. If you want something roomier, more flexible, and more ready for life's changing demands, the CR-V stands out as the better long-term companion. Both are excellent in their own way, but they serve different missions. The smartest decision is not choosing the more popular body style or the bigger badge appeal. The smartest decision is choosing the one that fits your life so well that you stop thinking about the vehicle and simply enjoy living with it every day.